Hey YouTube. When we think of childhood obesity, we can all admit, obviously, it's a problem. But now, once again, the government, or some members of the government, actually think it's a good idea to take a child away from a parent if the child is obese. Like it's somehow the parent's fault, which it probably is. They probably give them too much to eat, cookies and milk and too much ice cream and all that good stuff. But they always do things, the government, under the guise of helping people, people that are too stupid to help themselves, apparently, right? But think about this. For all the help you'd be doing by dragging that kid out of his house, okay? How much harm are you doing by dragging that child out of his house? Kicking and screaming while his mother's teary-eyed and screaming for her life, banging on the floor. What a scene that would be. Imagine being dragged away from your mom by some government officials and then thrown into a foster home. I mean, how many times have we heard horror stories of foster families? Oh, but that's all okay, though. As long as Fatty goes on a diet, Never mind the fact that you just scarred him for life and his parents for life. When is it going to end? When are people going to wake up? Why don't they encourage more after-school, workout programs and stuff like that? No, what's that? Like, take your child from you because the kid's a fatty? I mean, does anybody else think that's disgusting? I'm sure they do. I'd love to hear the comments from both sides. I really would. I was thinking a lot about children today because I got into an argument with somebody back and forth in PMs. And they were trying to make a point that you never hear pedophiles referred to as homosexual or heterosexual. I guess you do when in the case breakdowns. They'll say, "Oh, this man raped 20 boys, so obviously he prefers men, so he's homosexual." But I think the reason they don't really do that, oh, this homosexual pedophile or heterosexual pedophile for that matter was caught today, I don't think they bother with that detail because it almost gives homosexuals and heterosexuals a bad name. Because people that want to make love with each other, if they consent to it and they're down with it, it doesn't really matter the gender or, even an age difference. If, as long as the person's of legal age, it's really nobody's business, right? So you really shouldn't strap that label of homosexual on them or heterosexual for that matter. But again, it could be. Of course, obviously, one could prefer boys and one could prefer, just girls. But you don't really put that on. You don't really have to. The act of pedophilia is just evil unto itself. It doesn't really matter. And also, I think a lot of pedophiles, gender may play a big part in it, of course, if somebody does have a preference. But I think they're also acts of opportunity. Like the pedophile priests, do they even have opportunities to be around little girls, for example? I mean, they're around altar boys, I'm sure if there were little girls and little boys running to the church, you might see more little girls getting raped too by the priest. You know what I'm saying? It's not just, they're sick, these pedophiles. It's just opportunity knocks, man. Their sick, dark desires come out and they can't resist. But anyway, getting back to the fatties, I think it's terrible. They should promote weight loss and, after-school activities and stuff like that. Taking somebody's child away because they're fat. I don't know. It just sounds really like Big Brother,